Today, we're going to talk to you about your running form because I'm going to tell you right now, watching some of you run around the track, you are in need of some definite mentorship. If it looks awkward or it feels awkward, it definitely looks awkward. But we're going to help you out with this class to help get your running form up to that Olympic level. Your head. Your head should be straight forward. Your eyes should be scanning the ground approximately 10 to 20 feet in front of you. This is going to do two things for you. Number one, it's going to help you stay focused. Number two, it's going to help you look out for any obstacles or jackrabbits that may have run onto the track while you are out here exercising. Don't stare at your feet. Your feet have always been there. You don't need to look down at your feet. They'll keep moving the same direction that your body is. Your shoulders. Your shoulders are moving independently of your torso and opposite one another. So again, if your left leg is coming forward, your right shoulder should be moving forward, kind of that natural coordinated arm swing that you have when you are marching around the squadron. Open up your shoulders while you run. So try to imagine this. If you were holding a pencil between your shoulder blades, pull back on your shoulders and open up your chest a little bit more. Not only is it going to help your posture, but it's also going to help your breathing. Your arms. Your arms should be bent at a 90-degree angle. So in the same manner that you all do your jog in place during warm-up exercises with your arms bent at a 90-degree angle, you're going to be in that same position. Keep your elbows in close to your side. Don't have them bowed out like little chicken wings. If your elbow points outwards, that means that your arms are crossing your body, which is actually going to slow you down. Number one, you're creating more wind resistance. And secondly, you won't be able to get the momentum that you need moving forward. Your arm should swing back and forth from the shoulder joint, just like when you're marching again, like that pendulum. So your arm should be moving from the shoulder socket back and forward, just like a train on a track. Drive your elbow backward and then let it swing back toward you. Your hand should almost be grazing your hip as it comes back in front of you. If your arms cross over your chest while you are running, you're more likely to slouch, which means you are not breathing efficiently. And again, that inefficient or shallow breathing is one of the main or the root cause for you getting side stitches or cramping up in your abdomen area. Your hands. While it may be often overlooked, your hands play a pivotal role in this as well. The more you squeeze your hands, the more energy you're getting rid of through your hands. And that's energy that could be used more efficiently somewhere else. You can gently cup your hands as if you were holding onto an egg, tight enough to hold onto it, but not hard enough to break that egg. Don't clench your fists because it can lead to tightness in your arms, shoulders, and neck area. Your torso. In most forms of fitness, your core, which includes your back muscles, is really where all your power is derived from, or where it comes from. It's also your center of gravity while you are running. So it's an area you want to make sure that you are always training in. Keep a tight core while running. It'll prevent you from going too far forward or too far back. When you're tired at the end of your run, it's common for you to slump over a little bit, which can lead to neck, shoulder, and lower back pain. If you feel yourself slouching, poke your chest out. It's going to help you stand more erect, and it's going to help lead to a better posture for you. Your hips. When you're running, you want to lean slightly into the run, not straight up and down, not too far forward so you're falling forward, and not backwards, just slightly forwards, and you're going to bend forward from the hip joint. Your knees. Your knees should be in line with the middle of your foot so that when your foot strikes the ground, it's right underneath your knees. Lots of runners, especially when they're fatigued, struggle with getting something called the runner shuffle, which means that you're not picking your feet up high enough. Try lifting up your knees a little higher so that you have a little bit more time in the air for your foot to get into the right position, which leads us onto the foot. Aim to hit the ground with the ball of your foot. So during all those drill classes when you've been learning about the ball of your foot as a pivot point, that's the point that you want to land on when you're running. It's going to help you propel forward better, and your stride won't come out too far in front of you. So your foot should be landing directly underneath your knee, and it's the ball of your foot that should land first. Are there any questions before we start application? Okay, so for application, we're going to do this the same way that we did stride intervals, A-skips, and karaokes during that 0 to first week time before your initial PT test. So we're going to make 4 different passes. On the first pass, as you run from on the muscular pad from end to end, we're going to look at your shoulders and your head area. The second pass, we're going to be looking more at the middle portion of your body, your core, your back, your shoulders, your arms, and your hands. The third pass, we're going to be looking at your hips, your knees, and your feet. And then hopefully by that fourth pass, you've got enough corrections, or you've learned something from overhearing another correction being made on another person, that you can incorporate that into your run. So again, we're going to be doing this at about 50% of your max speed. This is about you getting that form correct, not about you doing it quickly. We want to get that foundation built up before we start going 100%. So, first group up, go. I like how your head and eyes are straight forward downrange, but don't cross your arms in front of your body. Tuck your elbows in a little bit tighter to your core. So this time we're going to be looking at that core area. Next group, go. Lean forward just a little bit more. Try landing on the balls of your feet, don't land on your heels. Next group, go. Wait for the command of execution. Hey, good morning again. So the last couple of days we've been talking about breathing clinic and running clinics. Today's we're going to continue that trend and finish up with the running form. So one thing that you haven't heard much about yet is running cadence. Yes, you've heard about cadence here for the quick time, or the cadence of quick time, but you haven't heard about running cadence. Running cadence is the optimal cadence for you to be running at, which is approximately 180 steps per minute. When you're running at ease, comfortable pace, your cadence should be a minimum of 170 steps. An average cadence of at least 170 for easy runs means that you will reduce the impact force on your legs, cut your injury risk, and even improve your running efficiency. With shorter, faster strides, you're bounding less and not introducing the stress that accompanies longer, more impactful strides. The most important aspect is actually where your foot lands in relation to the rest of your body, rather than what part of your foot touches the ground first. Ideally, your foot should make contact with the ground directly underneath your body, rather than far out in front of it or far behind it. A helpful way to think about this is putting your foot down underneath your hips. When there's a straight line from your hips to where your foot lands, there's no reaching or stretching the leg out in front of your body. And again, this is going to reduce the amount of injuries that you have. So a lot of you may have had shin splints or tightness in the calves, and part of that is because you're stretching out so far. Land close to your body. Have your feet hit the ground as close to your body as possible by shortening your strides and increasing your stride cadence. Don't bounce. Try to keep your stride low to the ground and focus on quick stride turnover. Too much up and down movement is wasted energy and can be hard on your lower body. Take short, light steps as if you're stepping on hot coals. The higher you lift yourself on the ground, the greater shock you have to absorb when landing, the faster your legs will fatigue. Land midfoot. Don't be a toe runner or a heel striker. If you land on your toes, your calves will often get tight and fatigue more quickly, and you may develop shin pain. Landing on your heels means that you have overstrided and you're braking. So again, you're wasting more energy. Try to land on the middle of your foot and then roll onto your toes for the next stride. Keep your foot or your feet pointed straight ahead. Make sure your toes are pointed in the direction that you want to go. So again, you want to go A to B. If your feet are pointing out towards C and D, you're never going to make B. Run softly. Try to run with as little impact as possible with light foot strikes. If you hear a kerplop or a loud noise every time that you land or your foot hits the ground, it means that the muscle in your lower legs are working overtime to control the lowering down of your forefoot. And again, this is one of those major, one of the major reasons why some of you get shin splints. Changing your form reduces the impact on your leg, and it cuts your injury risk by creating more fluid and more efficient strides. All right, trainees, so for application, we're all going to be running in place. But before we start running in place, I want you to think about a couple of concepts. Number one, when we go into a mark time, you're picking your feet up off the ground and you're landing with your midfoot landing or striking the ground first. While you're jogging in place here momentarily, I want you to have that same concept in mind. I want you to be landing quietly on the ball of your feet. Additionally, we're only going to be jogging in place for about 30 seconds. While you're concentrating on your breathing, I also want you to count the number of steps that you take during this 30-second duration. If it's not between 85 and 90, we need to either increase or decrease depending on what your number is. So, position of exercise, ready? Begin. Stop.